My brother, the honest fact is that the Super Eagles are not good enough. Cannot give what you don't have. If you promise Swaziland players 200 million rands or $200 million one player to go and meet South Africa, they will not do it. The team generally is not giving us what we deserve as Super Eagles team.
Welcome back to EVO SPORTS. Today's topic is very, very funny about Ajiwa. I know you guys are very, very gutted about what happened yesterday. The Nigerian Super Eagles lost out to the Leopards of DR Congo through penalties, but that's football. We still support them in the upcoming Nations Cup. But I also wish that Nigerians should understand that that's football. But then we are going to analyze the ball, the way it went. Though the Super Eagles didn't play well, I have able gentlemen here, Chima on my right and Mr. Albert on my left. But I'm going to start with Chima. Chima, Super Eagles of Nigeria, led by NFF versus DR Congo. How do you see that game and what's your take about that game? Who played better and who won the tournament? Who won for the second playoff?
Yeah, thank you very much. It was a very shameful game, honestly, but I did not expect much from them because based on my analysis, I said it the last time we were here together, that the formation, the players' performance on the pitch. Firstly, let us start with the formation the coach used. The coach started with Nwabali on the post. Then he played Frederick from right full back. He played Zaidu Sanusi from left. He played Kevin Bassey and Semi Ajayi. I said it the last time that Semi Ajayi was going to play this game at least 90% sure, because that was why I invited him, and because of the yellow card, he could not play against Gabon. And then I knew quite well that he was going to play, and for me, that disrupted the game plan because the team that played against Gabon, yes, the Gabonese were a very lesser team to compare to the Congolese, but moving Frederick to right fullback was a big mistake for me because Frederick is very much comfortable playing at the center back, and then he's agile, he's young, he's versatile, he has speed, then he has the strength to cope with those attackers. So I feel like if Frederick had played in that center back with Kevin Bassey, it would have been more better for us because that goal that they scored us maybe wouldn't have happened. Now, coming to the midfield, I've always had problem with Wilfred Ndidi playing as our DM. Now, Ndidi and Frank Onyeka are of the same style of play. Two of them are not ball-playing midfielders. They are not defensive midfielders. They are not natural DM. They are midfielders that can mark the ball, that can play as a free role, that can play as 8. Then while you are playing as 8, they can be dashing to the left, to the right to retrieve the ball, to assist the mid. But they are not natural. They are not natural defensive midfielder. When you want to talk about the likes of Bosquet, Rodri, then Casido, you talk about the likes of Casemiro, you talk about the likes of Onyedikachi. This Wilfred Ndidi and Onyeka are not that kind of player. So that means there was no balance in that midfield. So you played Ndidi and you played Onyeka just to be marking in that midfield. Then you play Iwobi in that midfield. 3-man midfield. Now, coming to the attack, he played Osimhen, played Samuel Chukwueze, played Lookman. Lookman have not been on form. We all know that. In the club side too, he's still struggling due to wonderful player, know that, current CAF player of the year. But when you want to talk about form, I've always said it that if we are inviting players based on form, that means Polonuachu supposed to be in this squad. But you people will say no, he's old, he's this and that. You always tell me no, the young players, the young generation, they need to this and but at the moment, football, whether you are old or young, as far as you are still doing it at that moment, you should not be overlooked because you need instant result. This is not under 17 or under 20 where you talk about building the future. Now you have Chukwueze up front, you have Osimhen, then you have Lookman up front. Akko was on the bench, and then the last game you started Akko and Osimhen. They both combined very, very well in that game. Now you came up with another strategy. Maybe you were scared because you believe that the Congolese are more they are more attacking minded. So you wanted to mark them. So are you just there to mark without using the ball? That was the mistake that the coach did. Now let me tell you something about the Congolese. All their first 11, they play in Europe. Yes, our own first 11, they play in Europe. But do you know the difference? Do you know that now Starting from Nwabali is a goalkeeper that plays in PSL, Chippa United, not even in Orlando Pirates, not even in KSR Chiefs, not even in Stellenbosch, not even in what is it called, Sundowns. Now our centre back Ajayi plays for I think All City also in Championship. You have Tavin Basina is the only starter that plays in the EPL for top team in that top line, in that defensive line. Zaidu Sanusi now plays for FC Porto. It's not a regular in FC Porto, but Zaidu still did very well in that, but it's not a regular. Now I'm telling you about the form, about how how it affected the Super League. Now Frederick, very good player. He plays in Belgium league. Now, if you talk about the Congolese defense line, look at they have Maswaki. Maswaki is playing regular football for Sunderland. Now, you talk about Twanzebe as well, playing for Burnley, regular. Now, you talk about Mbemba for Lille, playing in French League, playing in the Europa Cup and Champions League, playing regular for them. Now, you talk about Wan-Bissaka, playing for West Ham, playing regular there. Now, you come to the midfield. Now, these guys, Sadiki is there playing for Sunderland as well too. He's regular. You have all these players, even Elab and what is it called? Bakambu playing for Real Betis. These guys are regular players playing European football, competitive football, day in day out. So if you talk about form, if you want to talk about fitness wise, these guys they are already ahead of us. So we now Super Eagles, we just have the name there. Coming into this game, we believe that we are superior, but not knowing that these players elsewhere, if you check their club side, they are playing regular football in their club side. Look at our first level. Wilfred Ndidi have left English Premier League, went to Turkish League in Besiktas, not even on form anymore. You talk about Iwobi now. Iwobi is the only player that is playing regular, but in African football, Iwobi is not physically fit in terms of African football. He's a flexible player that loves to play from the flank, that loves to dance around with the ball, which you have to keep two defensive midfielders to mark for him. Now you talk about Frank Onyeka that they call the tank. The tank was empty throughout that day, very, very empty. He plays for Brentford, and Brentford is always on the bench. Maybe sometimes comes in 8 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes. If the team is leading, if they want to come and defend, that is when Onyeka comes in. He hardly starts a game for Brentford. Zaidu Sanusi, like I've said, is playing for Porto. These guys are not regular players. Tolu that they brought in, Wolverhampton, not regular. He has not played. Which other player again? Akko Adams in Sevilla is not a starter too as well. Ejike in Sevilla is not a starter as well. Moses Simon is the only starter in Paris FC. He came in, he did not play well, he's aging. So now we just believe that this is Super Bowl. Statistically, we have not really looked into this team and check if this team truly are what we play without, are what we think of them. Now, in this game now, you have a defensive midfielder, Onyedika, on the bench that has been playing for Club Brugge. Now, I want to be asking the coach question. Do you bring in relationship to the Super Eagles? Is it that there are people that you are more related to that you can use them even when they are not playing well? Because I know how long it took Richard to begin to keep Ekong on the bench. You have to, the fans of Nigeria have to be shouting and begging. Now you are playing a match like this. Now we all believe that okay, if you want to play against a team like Congo, you have to play a defensive midfielder that can look at that goal they scored us. Do you know that our two center back? I will illustrate it with this.
The two center backs were not there.
We are not there. They have to live in it now because it is not a real defensive midfielder. He could not find himself in a position where he have to cover up that space on time. Why? Because he lost concentration. In Leicester City, I've completed several times. Indeed, it was the same team mistake. He was pushed up front to be playing 8 in this team. That was why they started using. I think Somalia. There was one midfielder, like one Senegalese midfielder, one black guy. They started using that guy as a DM. Now, I was not surprised because the game, they outplayed Nigeria from beginning to the end of that game. They outplayed Nigeria. So there was nothing Nigeria could have done in that game because now, tactically, the coach of Congolese defeated us tactically. In terms of the players, they play. And now, all these African countries, they know one thing for sure. When they want to play against Super Eagles, they know that Super Eagles, they come physical. Look at when Nigeria play against South Africa. Look at when they play against Ivory Coast in Nations Cup final. When they play against even Rwanda. So if you watch those games, you will see that Nigeria fear leg. Nigeria do not want to put their body on the line to play football. So now football has advanced more than you just being in Europe. When you come to play in Africa, if Nigeria cannot possess ball against Congo, they cannot possess against Ivory Coast, they cannot possess against South Africa, then why are we called the giant of Africa?
Chima, you spoke. Let me get Abba's opinion about the game. Abba, DR Congo versus Super Eagles of Nigeria.
you talking it with this
But
this
that's
level of venom and
that's
all
the
of
way they
that.
call them the Super Eagles of Nigeria.
All right. Thank you very much. You see, I don't want to go deep into the game analysis. I want to talk from another perspective. What would come in terms of discussing on his player scorecard? I will discuss more on how I see the game and how it pans out. But first, I want to talk on the Congo effect. I remember vividly in 2014, I was in Calabar. I went to the pitch on the break of Ebola hemorrhagic fever. I was on the pitch with a friend of mine. They were undergraduate then, Blessing Otera and Rex Archibong. We went to watch that game. Nigeria versus Congo. Congo Brazzaville. I'm just saying this, why I call it Congo effect. It was Congo. No, Congo Brazzaville. This Congo that won Nigeria now is former Zaire. This is Congo DR. So I want to create a dot. That's why I call it the Congo effect. On that match, people came with high hopes. The stadium was a buzz, coming to watch Nigeria and the Mikel and all of that to give them what they want.
Morale.
Yes. So when the game started, it was about 40 minutes into the game. I remember that game very well. Ederson Echejile brought in the ball. If Ambrose knocked it in with his head, it was only, but the team was short-lived. 6 minutes thereafter, one of their players, yes, there was a true pass, Prince Ohyangwe equalized. Shortly before, just before the first half stoppage time,
They made it 2-1.
They made it 2-1 through Thierry Bifuma. Now, when they came into the second half, 8 minutes into the second half, Bifuma scored another one, 3-1, when Chejile dropped him in the 18-yard box.
A penalty.
Yes, it was a penalty. Now, about midway into the second half, there was a change by Coach Stephen Keshi. Blessed memories. He brought in Nusa Igiebo. He brought in Bola Salami. They made some flash, but at stoppage time, about 91 minutes, Bola scored, but he couldn't help anything. We were knocked out of the qualification of the district. And don't forget, Congo Brazzaville came into that game
as an underdog.
No, they were even out of it because they were about fifth on the log. It was Rwanda that fielded a player that is not eligible. So they now kicked Rwanda off and now brought in Congo. Now, fast forward to the match, Nigeria versus Congo DR, which was former Zaire. Now, we came into that game with a lot of high hopes. But at the end of the day, 1-1, I said I don't want to go into that analysis for now. It ended 1-1, they won us on penalty. But prior to this game, World Cup qualifier does start 1 month. It does not start 2 months. It does not start 3 months. Because of the league and every other thing, qualifiers are matches that are fixed per time.
Yes,
and sometimes it's stretched for close to like 2 years, World Cup qualifiers. But I want to identify like 5 aspects I feel was actually what made Nigeria, yes, not to qualify. Don't forget, it's 2 World Cups in succession. A giant of Africa. But I won't just...
We are no longer the giant.
No, let me use that word because it's still the sobriquet labeled in Nigeria. I don't know if you want to look at the country aggregate compared to other countries in Africa, but the word is giant of Africa. These 5 points, I want to quickly just hit on it, just few minutes. First, the flaws of the NFF. I don't know why is that at every time we are in the 11th hour, that is when NFF will come with welfare, incentives, play well, win this match, I'll give you this. Why is it that this has always been the case over time in Nigeria? Must we approach it with a fire brigade approach? It's wrong. Secondly, is this changing of the coaches. Look at how many coaches were experimented in the course, before we got to this level. Jose Parcero, Finidi George, Austin Guavoin, Janot Raw, and all of them. Now, I want to quickly delve on something. Eric Chell, in the history of Nigeria, is one of the highest paid coaches ever. A Malian, an African, about $55,000, approximately 85 million naira in a month. Now, followed by Parcero. Parcero is about $50,000. Now, followed by Janot Raw, $45,000. A Guavon, an indigenous coach, is $12,850,000. Then Finidi George, there's no dollar attached to it. It is just 15 million naira, approximately 15 million naira. But when Finidi George was employed, please just permit me to read what he said in his postmark. He said, there have been a lot of speculations on how I will earn. For me, the most important thing is to win games. Money will come when I start winning games and when the team is playing well. In life, if you always push for money, you will run into problems. Do the work first and definitely people will appreciate what you have done, and it's when you can ask for money.
But they push him out even
when... No, I'm coming. You see how this thing is said? I think it was blown up in ecstasy and happiness for giving him the job. It's completely to me is arrant. It's not, if I don't want to use the wrong adjective. It's not supposed to be so. You see, a lot of Nigerian coach, they plunge themselves down. That is why they can call them and use them and send them packing. A Malian coach came into Nigeria collecting $5,000 and approximately 85 million naira in a month. Otto Addo of Ghana receives about $50,000. Now, you see, when the white coaches come into Nigeria, they give them longevity of time to perform, improvise, do everything. But when an indigenous coach comes into the fore, they don't give him time. As soon as you make one or two mistakes, one or two blunders, you go. That's one of the factors, again, improvising, changing coaches, all of that, because every coach has their own football philosophy. So when you bring a particular coach in a particular time, he has the players he want to invite. Then when you drop him, you bring another coach, he brings another kind of player. So in that course, synergy will not be in the team. Togetherness, playing style, playing pattern will not be in the team. Because if I play with a particular kind of player on 2, 3, 4 occasions, and another time I'm playing to another player on that 3, 4, 5 occasions, it will be a negative effect on the team per se. Now, the third point again I want to bring is the Super Eagles player, as far as I'm concerned, do not put in their 100%. If they were putting their 100%, they wouldn't have been in this position they are going to play for playoff. Now, let me connect it with the Under-17 championship. For the first time when this module was changed, 10 teams in Africa to represent Under-17 in championship. Nigeria did not qualify. Now, 10 teams to represent at national team at the World Cup. Nigeria are not there. See, it calls for a very big question mark, The players, if you are invited to the Super Eagles and you so feel you need to be at the Mundial, you need to be at the World Cup, put it 100% effort. I've said it over time on this table. I said, they're all professionals. They're earning good money in their club. So whenever you are invited to the national team, don't look at what the NFF will give to you. Come in giving 120% of what you got to qualify for the World Cup, because it is the biggest soccer event in the world. So when you represent your country for once, it adds to your CV. Even when you retire, you will still look at your rank and files and say, yes, I played at the World Cup. Yeah. So the players actually did not perform at their optimal. That is why Nigeria did not qualify for the World Cup, because we have to check it holistically. Now, the fourth aspect, point I want to look again is what I call the Ahmed Musa effect. You know why I said so? Nigeria are so quick. The fans, I want to use this medium to speak to the fans. The European nation, a player, Goran Pandev went to the World Cup at 38. Ronaldo is still playing. Messi is still playing. When somebody is 32 years, 33 years, please, fans, stop saying you don't old, you don't do this, don't do that. Sometimes the older the wine, the finer it is. They have a role playing in the national team. You see, most times when Osimhen has an injury, I spoke about Nigeria having people that can be improvised to score goals in our last podcast here. Now, Osimhen was substituted in the game. Nigeria fizzled out. The attacking line was paralyzed completely. Now, because there is nobody that not even close, that even average what Osimhen can do in that front line. So that is a very big deficiency. I call it the Ahmed Musa factor because of this. Now, if you check most of our games, if Osimhen is being substituted, he stand on the lines as an assistant coach. It's not supposed to be his job. It's supposed to be the job of a skipper. A skipper in a team represents a coach. In the absence of a coach, a skipper comes. Now, if Ahmed Musa plays abroad and his contract was over, he came to Nigeria Kano Pillars. Kano Pillars is one of the biggest teams in Nigerian Premier League, and he's playing and he's doing well. He's not been invited over a period of time. But I did say on this table that so many Super Eagles players, even though they qualify for the World Cup and will go to the World Cup, they'll just go be bench warmers. Why not bring Ahmed Musa to the team? He would have played a role of morale boosting. In all ways, you want to check him in football.
He's a good footballer.
He's a good footballer. Even though they don't want to play him, put him there, put him on the bench. It would have been a source of encouragement. Because all these players you have invited, sure, 7, 8 to 10 of them will not feature in the World Cup. They will just make up the team list. I get what I'm trying to say.
Bonus.
Collect the bonus, which is normal. You understand? Because, sorry to digress, Gattuso said, but I frown at that. He said all the teams that are coming in Africa are just coming to make up the World Cup squad. They are not supposed to be. That FIFA should check and review. They are not supposed to make it much. It's not his business. Let him qualify Italy to the World Cup and leave Africa and theirs. Now, the fifth point, again, I want to make, and which is the last one, on why I feel Super Eagles, we Nigerians did not qualify for the World Cup, is what I see as one of the flaws affecting Nigeria over the years that fans and people around don't actually know is the Nigerian Football Supporters Club. I have been an ardent watcher of Nigerian League and Nigerian Super Eagles game, except they did not play in the state where I am. In 2016, my friend Olusegun David, is still a member of Nigerian Football Supporters Club. You know, Supporters Club has two factions.
Yes.
One is headed by Dr. Rafiu Ladipo. Now, another one is headed by Vincent Akamuba. Now, that my friend belongs to the Akamuba faction. I still have another friend again, Jay, that belongs to the Akamuba. Their office is at Ogulano Drive off Akewele. Now, the other one, the Akamuba-led faction, do their meeting in Teslim Balogun Stadium, just at the ground floor before you climb up. There's a place there they do that their meeting. Now, if you check very well, the Congo DR supporters, they were dancing from the first blast of the whistle to the end. The camera was busy showing everywhere on the pitch, on the stands. You will see blue dancing on top of their voice.
But you see our supporters.
See, it is always good to say the fact. Even if you are there in the stadium, do you know that fans, you see, this Nigerian supporters club, you see, they only blow trumpet and hit drum, and sometimes they are always tired. Perhaps they are hungry or they are not well. But see, at some point, there's something that I don't want to get overly angry, because this is what I do see most times. Do you know that the Nigerian Football Supporters Club, because they don't have the much crowd, it is people that come to watch the game that put on Super Eagles jerseys that go to make up that crowd. That crowd you are seeing is not big enough. Most times, there was a last match we watched, the Rafiu Ladipo led the supporters club moved from Ogulano Drive. They were heading to the stadium. They moved through Akewele. I was following them from the back. They were blowing their trumpets. When they got there, they now met the other. They now stayed apart.
But it's not supposed to be so.
It's not supposed to be so. Now, if football fan and supporters plays a big role in the performance of the players on the pitch, it shows how Nigeria putting politics in our football has actually affected us. Now, this thing now has been in online for more than going to 12 years. Rafiu Ladipo and the Vincent Okumagba, they have not resolved it today. You want to tell me if NFF don't know about that? You want to tell me the football administration don't know about that? But today they have not settled it. Now we are still on the matter. So I hope they will know that there are so many things that affected Nigerian football, in which I feel the NFF and other stakeholders should come together and bring an end to these flaws and ensure that the proper solutions that will take Nigeria to the next level.
Chimba, do you have any other important thing to say about the downfall of our dear Super Eagles?
Yes. If I must be frank with you, let us call a spade a spade. This is Nigerian football. This is our football. This is our game. And we have all been in this game in one way or the other. Yes, these Super Eagles guys, they are our senior men, they are our players, they are people that even when we see them one-on-one today, we have some friends there we can appreciate and like. But when we come to job and we doing our job right now, my brother, the honest fact is that the Super Eagles are not good enough.
Yes, that's good.
These current Super Eagles, they are not good enough. If you tell me that this team, and for me, if we want to put the blame, we have to share the blame round. From NFF, yes, from every angle, like he said, but I believe that these guys, I believe that you cannot give what you don't have. See, if you promise a player, if you carry Swaziland players to play South Africa, Bafana, if you promise Swaziland and promise them $200 million, one person. No, if you promise Swaziland players 200 million rands or $200 million, one player to go and meet South Africa, they will not do it.
But they know they don't have what
even if they go and play, they cannot beat South Africa. Not because the money they promised them, but because they cannot do it.
They don't have the quality.
They don't have the quality to do it. So if you like, make the president come out and say, I want to give you $1 million to win this match. If you cannot win the match, you cannot use your hand and carry the ball and go and throw inside the post because they promise you money. You cannot begin to punch your opponent because they promise you money. It's still the same football you will play. If you come to play for national team, whether they pay you or not, you have eaten. First of all, I'm not talking about what NFF did. I'm not saying we have blasted them, but we are coming to the game personally now on the pitch of play. Whatsoever happened outside the pitch is a different case. But when you enter the pitch, my brother, if you are good, if you are a team, you can tell me that these guys, they are good individuals, but Nigeria Super Eagles, we don't have a quality team. for the past few years, we have not been able to produce a team. I'm telling you for fact, even if it's not Congo, if we still play another African country that are good, we will still struggle. In Nations Cup, if you watch most of our games that we played, till final of those Nations Cup, we were struggling to win matches. They always outplay us in the games. EVO Super Eagles cannot play and possess ball for more than 5-10 minutes to attack. EVO Super Eagles cannot play an African team and they have a game plan and then have to play from defense to attack to front. If the ball did not, if there's no space, you come back and restart that and play. You can't play. Super Eagles have never played a game like that in a competitive game, apart from this Gabonese team that they played last. Yet they still drag the game to extra time. If these Congolese have played this Gabonese, they will have walloped them under 90 minutes. So the fact remains that we don't have a squad, a team that can channel now, apart from the money, apart from what is happening outside. If a player, look at the way Osimhen usually play, whether you pay Osimhen or not, when Osimhen comes to the pitch, he gives you what he wants. If it's in Napoli, if it's in Galatasaray, if it's in anywhere, Champions, whether he's playing against Monte, he gives you what he can offer. But now, these players now, as it stands like this now, the team generally is not giving us what we deserve as Super Eagles team. Now, check this team now. You talk about Ahmed Musa, yes. I agree with you, some of the guys. Me, personally, I have been a person that have always agitated that I am not a fan of whether you are age or you are young. I'm a fan of what you can offer or the pitch. For long, I have been agitated for Paul Onuachu based on current form, not because I love him too much. I have been agitated for Onyedikachi, not because I love him so much, but because of current form. Our player playing in Champions League day in, day out. You have the goals to always keep this guy on the bench throughout the whole World Cup qualifier. Your player that plays in the Champions League, ahead of, if you compare Onyedikachi to Wilfred Ndidi, to all our midfielders in Europe today, nobody have a better start than this guy. Yet you keep this guy on the bench. If England want to invite players now, they invite players on form. They invite players on form. If you are doing well, Rashford was frizzled out of the team before because he was not doing well. Now in Barca, they invited him back. Now look at Watson from Crystal Palace. Look at other players like that. If you are doing well, they bring you. Look at that Bradley from Liverpool. They invited him. He played yesterday for England. So if you are doing well, then what is now the purpose of playing well in Europe? If you cannot be invited, if they still depend on social player because of his name, then why did you allow Kanu to retire? Why did you allow Jide to retire? You should have just been bringing them back now if it's not on form. Now, all this Ahmed Musa, they don't have business anymore in Super Eagles. If you need motivation, now, yes, we have people like Ekon. We have still some players that are not even playing there. But we talk about people that are on the pitch, that will go inside the pitch to do the job. I said the last time they invited him, was not supposed to be invited. If you want to talk about current form, Paul Onuachu have scored about 7 goals this season. Currently now, in about 8 or 9 matches in Turkish league, the same league where Osimhen is playing, Osimhen have scored 3 league goals so far. Yet you invited Osimhen, you kept up Paul Onuachu outside. You invited a player in English league that have not even played a 90 minutes football in this season. Now, I am not against anybody, but this is a national team football. You must invite people based on merit. If you say you are a coach, we find they have been struggling since he went to Besiktas. We can clearly see that he struggled with the ball even on the pitch. It's not a DM that plays that can face our post and collect, but he does not have that characteristic. We find he should be pushed off for, yet to keep playing him as a DM against aggressive Sadiki, against those kind of players that look at the way we play against South Africa, how they outplayed us, how they control the ball from ready Sundowns players, Pirate players, all of that shows that they are very good players, or their team, or when you come to team, they are good. Now in this game, not to shift focus. Now
because of time.
Yes, now you are playing a match. You are playing 1-1. You have Ekong on the bench. The match is drafting to penalty shootout. Now you want to bring a player. Frederick was feeling like he was injured. He needed to be subbed off. Now you brought in Awazim, thinking that you wanted to remove Frederick. You now brought in Awazim, you removed Tolu back. Now, Awazim did not kick a ball in the penalty, did not play any penalty.
He was supposed to have.
Now, thinking that maybe you were bringing Awazim because of penalty shooter. Now, if you were bringing Awazim because of penalty, why not bringing Ekon? That we know that is our best penalty taker. Ekon will have still come in and then still play as a defender if you want, and still take the penalty. Now, did you see the tactical flaw? Now, you brought in Awazim. Maybe Awazim did not even touch the ball throughout the minute he entered. Now, you wanted to sub Akko and Osimhen. You have been playing both of them together. Akko has not been that top now. He's a kind of striker that likes to fall deep. So now they complemented each other. You wanted to start this man, you bench Akko, you play Frank Onyeka in the midfield. Yet, we did not hold on to the ball. We were still chasing the ball up and down. A whole Congolese team now knocking Nigeria up, and Nigeria were chasing shadow. Now, you want Osimhen now went off. Instead of you to bring, I want Osimhen went off. The next person that's supposed to play like Osimhen was supposed to be that Tolu that you brought in. Say it's supposed to be Tolu that should have come in to come and play that top man up front. At least, even whether he will do well or not, that would have left us to be. At least we would have seen it that okay, now you brought in Akko. Akko was not able to chase down those defenders because that is not his style of play. Akko was on the pitch for several minutes. No single ball came to Akko. If this Nwabali pass ball to Bassi will pass to Ajayi. Ajayi will return back to Bassi will return to Ajayi. That was how they were playing. The whole front line was no ball at all up front. By the time they will not play the ball, Akko will be offside. They just useless the attacker. Was it a formation from the coach that you should not play the ball up front? At the end of the day, they will collect the ball from us and then return the ball back to attacker. So it was a very, very I have never been a fan of foreign coach for Super Eagles because I believe that we have the call. Like what he just rightly stated. This thing, our coach Elise collected $55,000, but I can tell that they're still owing him money.
They might be owing him.
No, they are owing him as he stand like this now. They are still owing him because if they cannot pay players, is it Elite that they will not pay a foreigner? The same issue they have with Janet Ford, the same issue they have with Parcelo. They owe them, but now they give them freedom to do what they like sometimes to some extent. But when you now employ Super Eagles school, like he said, you pay them peanut, yet you don't even give them freedom to do what they want to do. So that is very, very wrong. So from the tactical play, it was very, very wrong. Super Eagles did not get it right at all. So forget about the NFL payment. These are our guys. They are not ready yet to play for Super. It's either there's something worried about. Congolese, they have better team, better squad, better play than Super Eagles.
Okay. As Albert rightly said, he said that Nigeria Super Eagles has fed phobia for any name that comes with Go. Talk less of Go. Congo. The other Congo, the other Congo. Nigeria has phobia for them.
Don't forget that before this game, we played about 6 matches. They won 3 matches. We won 2. Then we drew 1. So they have edge against us. Now, at least we can't draw. Let's say 9 based on statistics. Now, let's say 7 games now. So they have to, I think they are 1 4. Okay, still 3 now. Maybe 2 draws and Nigeria 2 wins.
You see, I think people have always said that the best people we've had in the sport ministry is Jim Nwobodo and Emeka Omerua.
Yeah.
That era. So
even Alex Akinyele.
Many people of this generation may not know them because I was very, very little then, but because I was a lover of the game and all of that. You see, a man that is an SS, impregnates a woman that is an SS. The possibility of having AA for their child is 99% impossible. Now, when the foundation is rocky, is bad, there is nothing, you understand, the offspring can actually do in so many, many cases. 2002, Ishaya Mark Aku led NFF, had issues with the big boys in the team, the experienced players, the players that actually qualified Nigeria for the World Cup. They were asking for what rightfully belonged to them. He went into an outburst with Finidi George, with the big boys, Victor Agali, Yakuba Ibeni, the big boys. Now, he said over his dead body, they will not play in the Super Eagles. Truly, they left. He died. But they went to the World Cup, and that was the worst ever Super Eagles team in Nigeria that Nigeria has ever produced for any World Cup. Now, fast forward, Chris Giwa, 2014, when we lost against Congo Brazzaville, there was an issue when FIFA told him to relinquish the position when he was, jostling with Amadou Melvin Pini. They said he won controversially that Amadou is the real winner of that election. It was about 2-3 days. They gave him 48 hours to relinquish the position. Now, thereafter, over and over, you see that there's always a problem with the NFF. That's always giving a problem, there's always giving a direct issue to the Super Eagles not to perform. And this thing always come in a qualification year or a year that Nigeria need to play quality matches or matches that will qualify them in tournaments that we need to represent, Nigeria need to go and represent. Now, look at the issue now. Nigeria played against Congo. Chima has stated it all. the Congolese side, the Nigerian side. By name, Nigeria is bigger, but on the pitch, they outplayed us. Now, going to the game, if we go by the analysis, it will take a lot of time. Well, it's just a lot of time. But they ended 1-1 stalemate. They outplayed us. To me, it is ball possession is 80% to 20. It was so shameful. It was an abysmal performance. Now, it went to a penalty shooter. Don't forget, I did say something. If the team were a team bunched by a particular coach over a period of time, they would have known their penalty specialist. Yes. And don't forget, in the game of football, a coach don't point at the player and say, you go play, you go play. When it comes to have a penalty, after the pep talk, after everything, they will ask, who wants to play? You see the players, some of them will say, I'll play, I'll kick. That is how it is. You don't point a player. In football, quote me anywhere, you don't point a player to go and play penalty. Now, the only time there's always an issue like this is when you don't have penalty specialists, just as he pointed out. Because in an open play, if Nigeria have a penalty, Ekong is the one that steps in. Now, Ekong was on the bench. They changed their goalkeeper, knowing fully well that goalkeeper is good. I just asked Abiodun Barua of Nigeria back then was a good penalty stopper. Now, God bless you. Now, look at it. The coach made a tactical change. He now brought in the goalkeeper. Because he could, and the guy showed that yes, I'm a goalkeeper, I'm a penalty specialist. He caught about 3 of the penalty. But Ekong was there. But be it as it may, Nigeria have lost. But it's just a wake-up call. If NFF will change to up their game, to ensure that they should leave, if they want to leave Eric Chell, let them leave him for a longer period of time. Let him build the team. He will have his free kick specialist. He will have his penalty specialist. He will have everything. And he will also come to terms, even Nwabali should be our first choice. Because Nwabali don't know where you need a match and where you don't need a match. Even where you need goals, he will get a ball and sleep on the floor. 70 minutes still remaining to play, he's still sleeping on the floor. So we just hope that Nigeria understand what it means to be part of this world today and enjoy everything that comes to football and how football generates revenue to the world of football.
Anyways, there's one story about Eritrea going to attack Congolese officials because of voodoo. That voodoo is called juju. You understand? They said that when they were playing the penalty shooter, the Congolese were doing juju, blah, blah, blah. That is bullshit. To me, that is bullshit. Let Congo go and do that thing against Brazil or against England. Let them see whether it's going to work. Nigeria played badly and that is it. They played bad. So it was not him going to even attack another team official doing their own thing. He was on court for. I think they should even find himself for that because you don't have to do that. You stay on your own bed. If you have something to do, if you have your own voodoo, you have your own goal, call him. So you don't need to go to another person's bed to go and attack another person. When they did, the football game is played on the field of play, not as anything going outside does not concern you. Let your own guys do what they have to do, and there, that is it. So it's only Africa hears some of these kind of stories like this.
I would say that the Nigerian Super Eagles played woefully. The Congolese were better than us. We heap all the blames on the NFF or the NFA. I will congratulate the Congolese national team, the Leopards, for devoid our own Super Eagles, and I wish them to represent Africa very, very well. Indeed, just concluded qualifiers now. Which African country do you expect to do well and do you support to do well in this upcoming World Cup?
I go with South Africa. I go with South Africa because...
Okay, you have your reasons.
Yes, I have my reasons.
And Albert, which African country do you support to do well in this upcoming World Cup?
Looking at their performance, I think Morocco will do very well.
Okay. Based on Moroccan performance and the way Congolese played against Nigeria, I believe Congo and Morocco will do Africa proud. Thank you.